My initial reaction to Prince Harry's ITV interview was walking away feeling like Prince Harry is a catastrophic thinker. It's difficult to take someone seriously when they have a reputation for exaggerating their circumstances. Verbiage like catastrophic car chase, bringing up acid. Harry is constantly fixated on the worst case scenarios. And when he says he's the best person for the job, I actually think, and the best person for the job when it comes to holding the tabloids and the media accountable, I almost feel like it's the opposite because he has a history of exaggerating his stories. He has a history of being very sensitive to things. And while everyone agrees that the intrusive there was a violation of privacy without a doubt. It's hard to take Prince Harry seriously talking about a violation of privacy after reading the book Spare and knowing some of the inappropriate details he wrote about his brother, his sister-in-law. You might not be the right person for this job. No matter what he says, it just might not be him, and that's okay. I think you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. Prince Harry and Meghan's issue with the British royal family, it's not about race. It's not about Harry and Meghan being more popular, which is what they told us in the Netflix series. And it's not about Prince Harry having more courage to take on the media, more courage than the king, more courage than the Prince of Wales. Harry's centralized issues with his family, I think it boils down to respect and the way that you communicate with each other. Harry and Meghan, they were disrespectful, according to Valentine Lowe, according to Tom Bauer. There are multiple reports about the way that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle treated staff within Kensington Palace. Prince William and the Princess of Wales, Catherine, were so devastated over reports of miscommunication, over reports of even bullying, that they approached Prince Harry and Meghan Markle about it. And that, even in Spare, you see that that's where everything goes downhill and where they stop communicating in a healthy way, where the relationship becomes very toxic. And I think it's about the way that they treat each other, but I also think it boils down to trust. And the royal family cannot trust Prince Harry and Meghan Markle anymore. Yeah, I mean, Prince William did say that Martin Bashir fed into his mother's paranoia. Prince Harry comes out in this interview saying there was no paranoia. In fact, there's proof. Well, you can't just say that, Prince Harry. You have to show us proof that your mother was hacked. There's no tangible evidence up to this point that your mother was hacked. We do this all day long, every day. And aside from the Squidgy Gate tapes, I can't think of one single example of Princess Diana being hacked in the way that Prince Harry is describing. But it was interesting to me at the time, the way Prince William came out swinging over the Martin Bashir investigation. He said, Martin Bashir really did, what he did was just so vicious and cruel when it came to the way that his mother was mentally. She was fearful. She felt alone. And Martin Bashir took advantage of a woman for his political, just for his political pursuits. And then that really negatively affected Prince William's life, probably more so than Prince Harry. And Prince Harry released a very dull statement at the time. And we thought, so strange to see Prince William just on fire right now, taking up for his mother. And Prince Harry just being like, okay, thanks. I mean, it was very vanilla. And then mysteriously, the same interview that Prince William asks never be shown again, be locked in a vault because of its dubious nature, Prince Harry throws on the Netflix special. Prince Harry references in Spare. So he utilized that interview with his mother, Prince Harry, like he does a lot of things, like he did throughout this interview. He uses his mother to justify his actions. You got to grow up. You got to be your own man. But, to know that Prince William wanted that interview put away for the rest of his life. He didn't want to see it again because he knew his mother was lied to obtain that emotion from her. I mean, she was panicked. She was scared. She felt like people were spying on her because Martin Bashir sat in front of a computer with a graphic designer and, they hacked up some fake documents. So she'd feel like everybody was listening in on her. And that really ticked Prince William off. And he said, I don't ever want to see that again. What a horrible state our mother was in at that time to feel so alone. And Prince Harry throws it on his Netflix documentary. So there is a constant tug of war for their mother's memory. And I do believe, especially in the States, that Americans are starting to feel like Prince Harry takes advantage of it. Again, I'm going to reference the catastrophic car chase. We had New York's mayor come out and say it's impossible to have a car chase in the city of New York right after it happened. NYPD later said, yeah, there was probably some pretty aggressive photography, but at the end of the day, Prince Harry was trying to associate his mother and Meghan Markle, so we would have some sympathy for them during that New York City experience. And I think Americans are starting to say, "Well, you're playing the Diana card an awful lot." Serena Williams is really the only friend that I think they can count on. Abigail Spencer, I take that back. Abigail Spencer was one of Meghan's co-stars on Suits, but celebrity friends seem to come and go. And I think that the reason for that is because Harry and Meghan are only interested in you when they can use you. What can you do for me right now? What can you do for me today? I do still believe that one day Meghan Markle will break down and work with the Kardashians because they can do so much more for her than she can do for herself. We saw Kris Jenner a few weeks after everybody else, post a picture of one of Meghan Markle's jars of jam. But yeah, it does seem like celebrities know better. I mean, we heard that Gwyneth Paltrow was at a restaurant with Harry and Meghan. Gwyneth Paltrow has never formally endorsed them or talked about them. But then Gwyneth Paltrow went and left a comment under the Princess of Wales Instagram post saying she was so glad she was looking happy and healthy. So I do think that people are picking sides, and the side and I can't believe Harry and Meghan didn't think about these consequences, but ultimately, wouldn't you rather be with the royal family, which is a historical institution who, spends every day out shaking hands? We've got Prince William's got an entire homeless initiative that you have a tangible list of things he's looking to execute over the next few years. You've got how can you not get behind the Early Years Project for Princess Catherine? We look at them and we see their causes. We look at Harry and Meghan and we think about that clip on, I think it was, what was it, where Meghan's like, it's time to post our $150,000 Del Taco Instagram sponsored post. We think of them becoming this kind of joke in Hollywood, or the South Park episode. That is what we instinctually think of. And when we think of the royal family, we think of glamour, beauty, and these really important causes that they get behind. But can I tell you do we have time? Can I tell you what fired me up the most about the ITV interview? Is when Prince Harry said about Queen Elizabeth, she's still very supportive. She knew how much it meant to me, and she's very much up there seeing this through to the end. I'm critical when anyone makes claims about something the late Queen Elizabeth said after she passed. I think it's totally irresponsible. For instance, The Spectator reported that the Queen referred to the Duchess of Sussex as evil before her death. I shot that down immediately and said it was in poor taste to put words in this woman's mouth. And I would do the same for Prince Harry. He said this is very much something she supported. The Queen's actions said otherwise. Recollections may vary. The Queen knew that pitting a member of the royal family against a giant media entity jeopardized not only that member, but the entire family. I mean, the history of the family. And to sit on a stand before a court will make you very vulnerable. Vulnerable like Prince Harry has never seen before, but more vulnerable than the inside of the pages of Spare, which was written by a ghostwriter. So I was very unhappy when he evoked and it feels like he also uses Queen Elizabeth along with Princess Diana to justify some of his actions. And there's a great example right there. as I was watching this interview with Prince Harry, um, you talk about how private the Princess of Wales was, and how you're capable of that. Prince Harry, he said during the interview, this is during the part where he's talking about why he'll never bring Meghan Markle back to the UK. He says, "Look at what has happened in the last 4 years to me, my wife and my family, right? What has happened to you in the last 4 years? The king has cancer. The Princess of Wales has cancer. And you know who posted a picture of the Princess of Wales with cancer? TMZ, an American media outlet. The UK media refused to run it. So you can bang your drums all you want about how much you hate the British tabloids, but it was TMZ, an American media outlet, that violated the Princess of Wales's privacy, that hid behind trees at Windsor Castle and snapped a photo of Kate and her mother. Do you live in a different universe than we all do? And then when he talks about Meghan and says it's still dangerous, all it takes is one lone actor, one person who reads this stuff, and then he says it could, it's a knife or acid. He says that there's genuine concern for him. It's one of the reasons why he won't bring his wife back to the country. Thomas Matthew Crooks, an American, the assassin who attempted to take out former President Donald Trump, was Googling Catherine, the Princess of Wales. I'd argue that the UK is safer for a family that is fixated on utilizing their royal titles than the United States, where we have much different gun laws. I mean, I just kept watching this thinking, what is he talking about? I have a box in the corner of my studio where I have their tea, the tin can, their wedding tea box. And I'm like, what do I do with this? I can no longer have this on display. Like, I can't, what do I do with this? No, I felt the same way, and it surprises me that we hear from Prince Harry and Meghan, because I do think that they want to be entertainers in some way. They've got to maintain this relationship with Netflix, but it seems like the most personality we see from Prince Harry, the more we hear from Prince Harry, is in a capacity where he's complaining about the past. There was so much hope when it came to this marriage. Even when they moved to the United States, the opportunities were endless. He had an amazing, I don't know, he had an amazing start. I don't know how to, he had a what do they call it when you get to run first when you're racing somebody? A head start. Thank you so much. He had a head start in the most amazing direction, and he could have been a motivational speaker, and he could have said, hey, I had the worst thing in the world happen to me, and the entire world watched me walk behind my mother's coffin, and everybody knew me for the most traumatic experience in my life. But look where I am today. I have a beautiful family. I live in Montecito. I'm changing lives in the mental health world. I'm changing veterans' lives. He could have created an amazing brand for himself as a good man, a good father, a good husband, and somebody that kicked adversity in the teeth. And instead, he's constantly complaining about things that happened decades ago. And when he made the comment about how he was pursuing a life of service by pursuing this particular venture, which I don't think he understood what it looked like. I broke down Prince William trying to eradicate homelessness, Princess of Wales trying to figure out how to ensure our children grow up to be incredible adults based on their first influences as babies. Prince Harry sitting on a TV show with a bunch of celebrities who's we don't even have answering machines anymore. Text me or I will never know you tried to get that's like saying somebody read my fax machine. It just, people are going to have a hard time relating to Prince Harry and a group of celebrities that had their privacy violated, because we don't have, first of all, Facebook violates our privacy every single day. None of us own our information anymore. But I also just think it's not something that we can relate to. So to compare his pursuits with the life of service that the royal family has chosen, it just seems completely unnecessary. I do wonder who Prince Harry has counseling him on these types of choices. because at the end of the day, I don't think that this helps his brand. I don't think more people are going to tune into his Polo Netflix show for this. I don't think somebody that hasn't already bought a copy of Spare is going to buy Spare because of this. And I don't think that Prince Harry will ever I don't think he will ever be, I don't think he will ever fully feel victorious in this arena. It's almost like an impossible quest. And that's not because I don't think he's accomplishing things. I think it's because he has very high expectations. I think he wants to see major media entities completely shrivel and break down. I think he wants to have control over what people say about him on social media. That's why he's working with the Aspen Institute to come up with new guidelines for social media. A lot of his expectations are very unrealistic. So I think he's going to be disappointed. But when it comes to an overall brand and the likability of the Sussexes, I wonder who is counseling them, because they have got to show a softer side. We fell in love with Prince Harry because he was full of joy. And they need to remind us that that person is still in there, and we haven't seen that in years. Where is the playful third wheel? Where is the I'm going to make you laugh? I have an off-color joke, but it's going to make the entire room fall to pieces. You know, he's not this guy, this motivational speaker. He's not this person that demands a room that I believe he could have been. He's just this weak person that's constantly fixated on the past. And I just don't think that this is the right direction to continue to try to sell the Sussex brand to us in the future. They have to figure out either he's likable and he's happy and we can't wait till we see him on TV again or to read about him in a magazine, or he needs to go to the route of everything's going to be okay. It's not catastrophic. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to tell you how I went from point A to point Z, and I left the royal family. My life is better now. It's all good. Everything's great. But he can't continue to bring up the past and focus on the past and dwell in such a negative space. I mean, remember when he's watching the paparazzi video saying, I remember that night, my security guards tried so hard, and then he goes, it was awful then, it's awful now. Why is it awful now? That's not your life today in Montecito. In Montecito, you can go to the grocery store, you can pick out the ripest bananas you want, and you can do the self-checkout, or you can stand in line with a group of strangers. Your life is different. You're blessed. He's got to change the way he thinks. He's got to change the way that he allows us to see him, because people aren't attracted to this very negative, miserable couple.